Boom. I am supposedly live, people. Let me know in the chat. Oh, my internet's been really weird lately. My computer's been running kind of slow. Woo, baby. Ah, yes. Okay. Hi there, Brandon. I'm guessing you can hear me then. Okay. That's good. So I guess let's just give everyone a chance to roll on in here. Hi, Dennis. Say hi if you're watching. Hi in the chat for me, please. Yay! Hi there, Miss White Swan. Oh, Victor. Oh, look at this. All my favorite people are showing up already. I'm so happy. Got a song playing in my head right now. It's been looping for a couple days. That's how I prepare for my stream. Listen to it. Oh my God, the Phoenix. Hi, Susan. So wonderful to see you. I'm really excited to talk about the stuff that I'm getting ready to talk about today, too. Because as you know, we are now dealing with the aftermath. Yes. The aftermath of my sacred marriage wedding ceremony that I had to figure out now. I had to figure out what the fuck was real. What have I been doing all this time? You know, like what entails, you know, now that I've gone through this experience and this process. Okay. I got a little bit of the sniffles already. Anyway. I did want to give up some a few little, I don't know, updates, I guess, from some of the previous things that I talked about that I thought was rather interesting. Okay. This was a very, very, very interesting experience after having done my last stream. Last vape, I promise. I'm just nervous, so I had to get that out of the way. I'm always nervous. You know, and that's the funny thing, is that the number one thing people say to me in regards to my live streams a lot, it's just so weird. They're like, they tell me that I'm very confident. I'm very confident in what I'm talking about. And it's so funny because I always felt like I was coming across exactly how I was feeling inside, which was like scared. You know, I'm putting myself out there in a really vulnerable way and I'm sharing my truth with everyone, who people that may not understand. And that's the thing I think that probably was one of the biggest hangups, was being worried that, you know, what will people think? What about people who won't understand or won't get it or can't go to those levels, you know? And I'm opening up and I'm trying to share this with people. And so, yeah, like, I don't know, I guess I come across as confident. I thought that was a very interesting word that multiple people have told me at this point. And I'm just like, wow, okay, then. Okay. Oh, right. Anyway. So I want to say, okay, now I've talked about before how after my live streams, okay, I get like telepathic reviews, you know what I'm saying? Or like big, strong feelings that come in when I know that certain people, certain energies of people are watching. I don't always know who it is that's sending me the energy. I just know that this is what I'm feeling, right? And so I just want to remind you guys that this space, and when it is open and when I'm live streaming, when anyone is live streaming, okay, they are literally opening up a pathway to your space. Okay. You can get through these things. Like, not only that, but as I'm sharing these particular experiences with you, I'm basically giving you, in a way, okay, access to that moment in time for you to visit and look at. Okay. So I think that this is part of what I had always really initially been feeling, which I think is kind of weird, kind of strange. But I noticed and I remembered, okay, a long way back, I remembered that one of the details about the sacred marriage event for me was in that moment. If you remember the end of the fifth element, okay, like when they're having their dialogue, right? When Lilu and Corbin Dallas they're having their dialogue, right? And then everyone around them who's watching it and counting on this to happen, this big event to happen. And, you know, if you remember, like the monkeys even like, tell her, Corbin, tell her. And you can like feel the tension in the room, you know. And I remember when I would tap back into this moment, I could feel that. I could feel that energy. I could feel like spirit around, okay, being like this, like, come on, like tell her, like that type of energy. I could feel that. And what I think part of that is now is I think that y'all came with me and you all were there with me in a way. Like I'm granting people access to that point in time where you can go and you can witness it for your very self. You know what I'm saying? And it just clicked after the stream. Spirit was like, "You remember that?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I do." And they're like, "Yes." And I felt so good. I felt so good after the stream. Okay, I felt good about it all week long. I've been in like a blissful type of state. I'll have to say that. Okay. Oh, hold on. Just. Oh, Susan. Anyway. So one of the little up, I don't even, it's not an update, it's more like after the fact type of thing. Okay, so I just wanted to say I felt people there, right? I felt you guys there. I felt the presence of not just my guides and all of the spiritual entities that are working with me, but I know now that this is how we've connected it. From what I'm doing here now is connecting back to those moments. Okay, we are literally taking our consciousness and looking at those moments when we come to the space and we talk about it. Okay, so if you remember from last week, I mentioned a song that came through that Spirit gave me, which was Super Massive Black Hole. Okay, and Spirit also talks to me through the videos. All right, so I watched the video, and the video was about these entities, right? A bunch of beings, all right, in bodysuits that had different patterns on them. And there was this one particular entity, one of them, that I felt like was like kind of representing me in a way, like the one specifically. Okay, and it was this girl on the couch, all right, and afterward I started thinking about it more, and I realized after I took my picture for the next day's promo for my live stream, okay, in the video the girl has the bodysuit on and it's only showing one eye. She's got like it's blocked over here, the pattern blocks. Okay, so it's like I noticed that my hair, especially my bangs, was really hanging forward this eye. So that right there and there, I'm like, okay, so there's one little similarity, right? Well, then also she's holding up a book, right? And that book, she's like this. She's looking at the book. It's kind of like my binder, I'm like, okay, so there's another little synchronicity, And so then I thought about her emerald green shoes that she was wearing. And I realized, like, especially considering I talked about the emerald green color last week in regards to the divine father energy, right? So for me, what that was saying was walking in the divine father's footsteps, so to speak. If I'm wearing those shoes, those sparkly emerald green shoes. So I thought that was just kind of interesting. But of course, the song Madness has to continue. And this last week after the stream, my guides, my main guy, he was sent me a song, another Muse song. So apparently we're going hot with the Muse songs lately. All right. And the song was I Belong to You. And it has a French title to it too, because there's a whole section that's all in French for this particular song. And I thought that's kind of weird. Why am I getting all this French stuff lately again? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we talking to me in French? And like, is this what we're doing now? Why the French? Well, the French verse, the song, okay, was actually, it's in the French title of it. It translates into my heart opens to the sound of your voice. Okay. And then it says, pour out to me the euphoria and respond to my tenderness. And let me tell you, that was exactly the feelings that I was feeling this past week. It felt like God was just giving me a great big warm hug, like I did a good job. And so I just asked my guy, I asked my main guy here, like, why French? Why French all the time now, And I got to give him props for his commitment to this character of the doctor, because he said, think about it. He said, David Tennant speaks French. In fact, the David Tennant version of the doctor, his saying, like some of the doctors, they have like sayings or mottos, right? And so the David Tennant version of the doctor, he says allons-y when he's like, doing some social move or whatever. And so he connected it. I'm like, what is this, like 6 degrees of separation, but it always leads back to the doctor somehow, So now he's like, I'm going to be my David Tennant form. So he's been David Tennant doctor as of lately. Okay. And then at this moment, this is when, remember how I was telling you guys about the Doctor Who episode where the doctor gets doubled, basically. He gets replicated, so to speak, Donna, and the whole replication thing, right? Okay. And then it led me further down the path of how they had a separate sub-story of the Time Lord human, basically, version of him, where he doesn't have the double heart of the Time Lord. He's only got one heart. He's in a human body. That body's gonna die. It's not gonna regenerate. It's not immortal, And he basically goes and he ends up living in an alternate universe / reality with Rose Tyler, right? But he calls himself Corbin, right? I'm like, and I remember how I was asking. I was like, why Corbin? And it was at this moment I realized, after talking about the sacred marriage, the Corbin can link back to Corbin Dallas, the main character of The Fifth Element. Corbin Dallas and Dr. David Tennant version, Corbin, what was it? He didn't call himself Corbin Smith. I can't remember the full name now, but I was like, that's very interesting. So that's what I'm saying. Names are important and names link up. Things like this, they link up. Pay attention to the synchronicities, right? Okay. So the other thing in this song that kind of stuck out to me, I just thought I'd mention it because this is like, we're building, we're building on top of my experiences, so that way you can understand how I got to these certain conclusions, I guess you could say. So the other part of the song that stuck out to me was, he says, you're my divine lightning strike. Okay. And I thought about, first I thought about was the Tower card, right? Like it's time to break down the belief systems. Okay. The faulty belief systems that people have and that need to be rebuilt. Okay. But then the other thing that popped in my head, okay, was this dream I had one time. I just thought this was really interesting because this is another way, dream symbolism can be just so impactful and meaningful. So this was back in my 20s, right before I began working full time as a midwife. Okay, I had done my training. I'd done my schooling. I hadn't moved down to Florida yet in order to go to the midwifery school I ended up going to, but I was well on track to do this. Okay. And so I had this dream at that point that I was in my house that I was living in, and I was at my front door. Okay. And outside my front door it was open, but the screen door was there, and the screen door was glass. And so I was looking, and off into the distance, I could see a lightning strike coming down. It was coming from this big, massive cloud, and it was coming down, and it wasn't touching the ground. It was like this far off the ground still. Okay. And then another lightning bolt went on top of it, and it wasn't touching the ground yet. And all these lightning bolts started building on top of each other. And I started to get a little scared. And I remember I went to go turn around, and behind me was the Buddha. Okay. And the Buddha turned me back around, and he said, look. And so I watched. And after all of these lightning strikes built on top of each other, then they crashed the ground, and I heard a sound, and I woke up. Okay. Well, it just so happens that from that point on, okay, every time I was on call to deliver a baby, and it was a very busy practice that I worked in. Okay. We were delivering like almost 8 babies a month. All right. That's a lot. Some months were busier than others. Some months were less busy than others. But anyway, anytime that I was going to be delivering a baby, I would know because I would see a lightning strike. I'm not joking. A lightning strike. Not only would I always see a lightning strike, but I would see it in the direction of where I was going to be going to deliver these babies. One time, I saw 3 lightning strikes in the same day. 2 in the same area and another one in another area. And guess what? Delivered twins that day, and then another baby. They went into labor that same time. but we made it to both of them. You know what I'm saying? So, I just thought that, isn't that crazy? It is. It's crazy. So from that point on, anytime I was going, I knew if I saw a lightning strike, and it, and then after the fact, obviously, it stopped. But for that period of time when I was a midwife, that was my clue. In fact, God guided me a lot, because at that point in time, we didn't have GPS, okay, like we do on the phones now. We didn't have that. And so in order to get to, like, I delivered within a 2-mile radius of our office location, a 2-hour radius. So in order to find a lot of these locations, I would literally have to ask God to give me signs, especially because it's a lot of times women going to labor at night. So it's hard to even see where you're going. You live out in the back roads and stuff like that. And God would guide me every single time. I would just ask God to guide me, and he would. Okay. So here's another little interesting thing. I had almost talked about this last week. Okay. And this is kind of, I'm not going to like it. This is kind of creepy. This is kind of a creepier one example. Okay. But I thought it was really, I kept trying to remember, okay, at what point in time did this happen? Because, see, guys, at this point, the story is going to be a lot harder to tell in a linear style, okay? Because a lot of these things, the experiments that I'm running, right, so to speak, okay, like, it's going to go, like, they're going to be overlapping, So I'm going to have to tell them, like, a chunk at a time, like just, like, okay, this happened, I focused on this particular thing, and then all of these things happened. And then we'll go to another subject, and then all of these things happen. But those are they're overlapping. They're happening at the same time. Okay. So this was one of them. This was one of the weird things, right? Because, again, I am just thinking I am saying things at this point. I have to be careful now at this point, what I'm saying and how I'm saying it, because you never know what's going to happen as a result of it. And so this is one of the more creepier experiences. And the reason I'm choosing to bring this up now is because Facebook actually gave me I never look at my Facebook memories, but in this particular day, this post came up that I had shared, and it was in regards to this subject that I'm about to share with you guys. Okay. This was a creepy one. Okay. So there was this celebrity, and I'm not going to name him. Okay. But let's just say, I personally hated this celebrity more than I hate any other celebrities. I don't know why. I just naturally had an aversion for this guy after I'd heard some of the bad things about him. Okay. The really bad things about him. And I would wake up in the middle of the night. Several times this happened to me. I would wake up in the middle of the night at about 3, 4 in the morning, and I would just sit up in bed, and I would just be like, why is this man still alive? Why is he still allowed to be on this planet? Because I knew the things I had heard were true, because they came from his own mouth, and he told them as a joke most of the time, as a joke. Okay. And these are things you should never, they're not funny. First of all, they should never be joked about when it comes to hurting children. It should never be joked about. So this guy was absolute trash. And I don't know, I just felt this personal vendetta with him. And I really do think that when I was going to sleep, that I was going and I was checking out to see if this stuff was true. And I'm pretty sure that it confirmed it was, right? Because that was one of my intentions, is that I wanted to know, how bad was it, right? And so I would wake up and I would think, this guy, why is he still here? Okay. And so finally, I was just like, God, can't we just take him off of the planet? I was like, just think about it. I was like, I could put on a Harley Quinn outfit. That would be my overlay. I'm going to show up as Harley Quinn, and I'm just going to go to him astrally. I'm just going to bop him over the head with a baseball bat. Just done. He's finished. And then I was like, no. I was like, I don't really want to get noticed in the astral for sending that type of energy out there. I was like, and I was like, and I'll be honest with you guys, I know we have been everything at this point. Okay. You've been a killer before. I know I have been. All right. And so I remember saying to my guys, I said, okay, no, I'm not killing anyone this lifetime. That's not my mission here. My mission here this time around is to love, and bring myself into completion, wholeness, healing, whatever you want to call it. But I said to my guys, I said, but you guys could do it, couldn't you? I said, come on. I said, Couldn't you just give them, little complications from the jab, 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 right? Couldn't you just give them some complications from that? After I'd already asked if we could just like hit him with baseball, I was like, I don't want it to be too obvious, that we took him out. And so, and I forgot about it. I said that, and I was just like, damn, I just want that man out of here. And I went to, I put it aside. I stopped thinking about it. Within the week, he was dead. Within the week, he was dead. And the first article that I came across said that he had passed away suspiciously, right, from possible complications from the jab. That was the first article that I read. I was just like, wow, like that's kind of coincidental, but at the same time, right, like, well, that could happen. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't necessarily mean that I had, any inspiration in God choosing to take this man out, But then I found a second article. A second article came to me on its own naturally. I didn't go looking for these things. That's the thing. A lot of times I don't go looking for this information. It just falls into my lap somehow. And the second article said that actually it looked like there were two causes of his death. One was the complication from the jab, right? And one was from some blunt force trauma to the head that appeared to possibly be a baseball bat. So I'm just like, wow, that's powerful, right? That's powerful. I'm trying to fulfill God's will here. Like I'm putting these petitions out to God. This is a prayer, so to speak, in a way, and it got answered. You know what I'm saying? Like creepy. So anyway, I'm really careful. I'm not saying that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I am just one human person. I can't see the bigger picture of everything. That's why I have to give it all to God. That's why I have to. Okay. And that's why, again, I don't like the law of assumption completely because of that fact. Because the law of assumption, yes, I agree with the principles of how the law of assumption works. And if you don't know what that is, you should look it up after the stream, right? But in a nutshell, it's basically all possibilities exist. Everything that you could think of can exist. There's some timeline, some shape or form where that thing that you want exists. And the only thing you need to do is to basically claim it as yours, right? Believe it, that it's coming, that it's yours. It's already to feel the feelings of it already being that being the truth. Okay. And then just waiting and just holding that belief. It's your belief system. We are manifestors. We are the creator. Okay. And so doing that should align you with the steps to get you to that end goal that you already have claimed that is yours. It is going to happen, right? But the thing I don't like about that is, what about all the other things that it impacts? If you just get that one thing, like in a human body with a human mind, I don't trust that to be able to see enough to be able to make decisions to make when it comes to big things. I'm not talking about little things like you want a pair of shoes, what I'm saying, that's really cute shoes. And so you're going to imagine having those shoes and eventually somehow someone, let's say they just magically gift you those shoes. It's like a miracle, right? I'm talking about bigger issues. I'm talking about like lining yourself up with life partners and stuff, lining yourself up with the career that you would love and that would also make you money, lining yourself up with stuff like that. I think those things, you need to have a more broad idea of what it is that you're going for first. And you can envision that. But then you have to ask God, show me the way. Give me the vision. What would make me happiest? What would align me with my timeline of highest love and joy? You show me that. How about I don't purposely go and start imagining those things. I'm going to let God show me those visions, and then I will build off of that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So the aftermath. Okay. So the sacred marriage ceremony, this happens, right? And then the aftermath of that, the days after that, I was absolutely so happy, quite honestly. But I had some new guides that were stepping forward, and they were insisting that I share my message. Okay, that I share my message with the people who were the participants of this event, okay, of this ceremony for me. I was absolutely terrified to do that. And I mentioned last week, like, they told me, like, if you don't do this, if you don't start now, all the things we have planned for you, those things aren't going to happen. They showed me a Back to the Future scene where Marty McFly is looking at that picture, right? And his family is disappearing. Okay. But I'll just tell you guys, I'll just skip forward for a second here. I will tell you, this is why I've been opening up and talking about all this stuff now, is because they've told me that the timeline is solidified, basically. Like the picture, it was like that point where Marty's like, he sees everything come back. He's like, yay, like that was what point we got to. And this is why I have been opening up more about these smaller details. Well, I just see someone else in the chat here. I just want to say hi. Hi there, Sugar Bee. Nice to see you here. And Unveiling Addiction. Nice to see you, Chastity. And Terry. Oh, nice to see you. Okay. Anyway, so they want me to share my message, right? This is a thing that I'm going to have to share. It's such a vulnerable place, right? That's just why who would want to open themselves up in such a way? It's very difficult if you are not used to that, but I can say now, the more you are willing to tell your truth, just for the sake of telling the truth, the more free you become. This is why I feel like with each live stream, I've been calling it the purge, right? When I first started my Blue Fairy Origin series, it was like, this is the purge. I'm getting rid of all of it, right? I'm purging all of it to make space and room for new things. And I'm telling you, the more I release this stuff, the more I feel the light and the love of God enter my body and fill my life. I've literally been living in euphoria for the past week, it feels like. So I need to send my message, right? I do it. Okay. Well, I guess hold on. We got to get into okay. So this is going to line up with the song, basically. Okay. These two songs that came forward. This is why we have to talk about more of the music magic. Okay. Because, I was kind of like, okay, you guys have given me this gift of love here, right? This sacred marriage ceremony. And now I feel this just overall, just blown up experience of love, being in love with life, being in love with God, being devoted and in service to God, like more than ever determined, okay, to be there. And I just said, so, what's the deal here? You want me to share this message? I'm saying, you guys gave me this gift, but what is the deal? They said the deal was this, basically. The deal was just love. This was a gift. Let yourself feel it. They're like, don't make yourself feel bad about it. Don't care what anyone else thinks about it. The gift was the gift of love, and it's yours to feel. They wanted me to just feel my feelings. All right. And they also told me, and I mentioned this last week, that's when they told me that, okay, the new guys that came in, I was literally driving, right? I told this before. I feel like this is unnecessary, but at the same time, there might be some new people in here. So I'm just going to tell this part again. Right. So after I shared this message, and I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking about how lucky I am to have experienced all this stuff. Like, I can't believe like all this happened to me. Like, really, like I have to be the luckiest woman alive. In fact, I thought it's always a feeling, right? What does it mean to be the luckiest woman, right? What would that mean? Well, it would mean you'd feel like it, right? And that's what I felt like. I felt like the luckiest woman in the world for having gone through this and having God guided me through all these things, and all these dreams are coming true. And that's just when they told me. And if you remember from what I was talking about for the Ascension Glossary last week, they said that the original identity would have to be reclaimed, right? And so this is when they told me that I was the Blue Fairy, right? They said, you are the Blue Fairy. And they said, so beloved by the universe that they literally wrote you into children's fairy tales. And they said, and there was two of them there. And one of them said, and how do you ignite the heart of the Blue Fairy? And then the other person behind me over here said, by making all of her dreams come true first. And I was so moved by this. Okay. I was just so moved. And I still feel it. I still feel that. Like, don't you think God would want you to feel that special? Don't you think God wants to make you feel like you're such a special, sacred child to him? You know, like, I truly believe that he wants all of us to have the same. That's why I'm sharing this, because I want other people to open themselves up to this experience, this type of experience, and to let God in. So at this point, this is when the music really kicked up on another level. Okay. I already thought it was kind of crazy. All of these songs were lining up with my life, right? But then the Strokes. The Strokes really stepped up the game here when it came to the songs that were singing my life to me. All right. And this is why the Strokes ended up being my favorite band. I thought that was just so crazy. You know what I'm saying? That I didn't, because that's the thing. I was in the process of finding out who I was. Remember, like, that's what Kamala from the Star Trek episode, The Metamorph, that was what she learned to do for herself, was to find out who she was and to love those pieces of herself that she would find. Okay. And so the Strokes song started coming through. Now, I should say, this is what I have to say with this. Okay. So, you remember how they said 9/17 was my wedding reception, right? I had this drink, 9/17. It's your wedding reception and it's 9/17. So when I went to go write this message, okay, when I went to go write this initial message to start revealing myself, all right, next thing I know it, here comes a Stroke song. The Stroke song that stood out was called 1251. Okay, and I'm listening to this Stroke song, and I thought, that's so weird, considering I just wrote this message where I was like, I think maybe 9/17 might be the time that I started writing the message. I hadn't quite figured it out. Yeah, I think it actually is multi-layered. That's the thing. Nothing ever has one meaning for me. Nothing ever has one meaning for me anymore. There's always like multiple levels of meaning to these things. So 9/17, they told me my wedding reception was 9/17. I started writing this message at 9:17 in the morning. I assumed this is what they're talking about, right? And then, like I said, the song 1251 comes around. Well, guess what? In the song, okay, the thing that catches my eye, the thing that caught my ear first. At first it was my ear, then I go check out the video. Okay, so the thing that caught my ear first was the fact that it said, the verse, right? It says 1251 was the time my voice found the words I sought. Is it the stage I want? The world was shining out for us. Oh, we were tense for sure, but we were confident. Right? Okay, so this is that verse, right? Boom. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like, well, 9/17 was the time I found the words I sought, was it the stage I want? The world was standing out for us. What that told me, and what I immediately connected that to, was the world card in tarot. I was at the beginning, the world card, because really, in fact, did you know that the world card is actually the first card, supposed to be the first card, not the Fool. The Fool is the 0, right? The world card is basically the universe. This is where everything starts from. Everything is created out of this. Okay? So the world was shining out for us. Was it the stage I want? Maybe not exactly. It's not exactly what I envisioned, me having to do was open myself up in the most vulnerable way that I possibly could think of doing, and telling truth, just like unfiltered truth for the most part. Like it was bits and pieces. I'll give you that. I'll give them that. It was bits and pieces. It wasn't the whole thing, because there was too much. There was too much to put all of it. So I had to put just what I could manage to do. And I did this. Now, another thing, I go and I see the video. Now I'm watching the video. I'm like, this is an interesting video. I absolutely love it. I love Julian Casablanca. He's amazing. Absolute fire. And what it looks like to me, okay, is this new guide that I got going on over here that stepped up and is here all the time now. And I'm just kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? And it looked like them. It looked like the doctor. It looked like the doctor. I was like, it looked like he was beaming aboard what seemed like almost like a TARDIS ship. And it was all in like aqua. It was black and like aqua blue. And there are these lines all over the place, and lines on Julian Casablanca. Really sweet outfit. Absolutely love that outfit in that video. And I just took note, and I thought that's rather odd. That's rather odd, you know. And it was the song was talking about like let's do this stuff, but you know, now that I'm older, let's go ahead. I'll consider this now. Now that I'm older, you know, like here we go. All right, so I took that, whatever, put it to the side. I'm like, that's very strange, okay, because I haven't quite caught on yet. Hadn't quite caught on yet that there was like an angel of music basically working with me, because it is. It's angels love music. Let me just tell you that angels love music. Angels love singing in chorus. Okay, I can see visuals of it all the time when I tap into angel music. You know what I'm saying? Like it just like imagine clouds, like giant clouds, and they're all filled up with angels, right? And the angels are singing in the chorus, and you can see the sound frequencies coming down. You can actually see it raining down like rainbows. You know, that's kind of like how I was seeing it. So anyway, the next song that came out, so now I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. You know, I did kind of find my voice at like a specific time, I thought, so to speak. And now we got this 12:51 song coming through. And then that was the other thing. I thought, okay, I had that dream, all these things that came true right at that moment. You know, that's the end of it, right? Like I remember one of the songs that really stuck out to me was you know, Human Sadness by the Voids and Julian Casablancas. And one of the phrases that stood out to me was they promised they'd never ruin it with sequels. So I thought, okay, this was the end of it. They're never going to see these people again. Quite honest, this was what I thought. I thought I'm never probably going to go to another event like these. Like this was a very rare thing. I got to go to two, but that's probably going to be it for the rest of my life. You know, it wasn't going to be that though. Okay, so I thought the sacred marriage thing, that was the end of it. Even my dream that came true, I was going home, and I remember just feeling like, wow, like I'm never going to be physically close to the people that I just spent all of this time with at this event, and finally had real happiness again for the first time, and like felt like I had real friendship, met my soul family, so to speak. You know, I didn't know that in the dream at the time, but that's what it was. It was me having to be apart from my soul family again. But I thought that was the end of it. And then this song comes through. And it's the Strokes song, The End Has No End. Right? That's why I talk about the time bombs. The time bombs. Because it's like, oh, one by one, the time bombs won, and they're about to start going off. I mean, that's what that was. You know, that's what that was at during that event. You know, all of those dreams coming true, all of those moments, all those stories coming true. Like those were a lot of time bombs, and now there was about to be even more. Like I said, they told me they had a whole bunch of things planned for me. Okay, and surely they did, and we kept walking forward. So what did the video show me though? Okay, the end has no end. Basically, the song is about asking someone to take a walk with them. You know, like walk me out of this lifetime is what I thought. That's what I'd asked for. Walk me out of this. Okay, like and Julian Casablancas in the song, he's basically saying like, but can't you find some other guy? You know, like. And it's like, oh no, okay, and so they keep singing this, right, over and over again, and I thought to myself, this is very weird. The end of the video actually has is the beginning. The end of The End Has No End is the beginning of 12:51. So it's like at first he's all singing like, no, I can't do that. Like, can't you do no, you know? And then 12:51. You know what? Now that I'm older, let's go ahead, you know, like let's figure this stuff out, right, so to speak. Okay, so I paid attention. I'm just like, what the hell? The end has no, because that's what I was asking. That's literally the question I put out there was like, so this wasn't the end? Well, when's the end then? You know what I'm saying? I thought that was the ending. I thought ending of the fifth element, that's the end, right? Like, no, indeed not. The end has no end. So I paid attention to this. And they came through. They kept running through these songs. You know, eventually I got to the point where I was just like, can you sing to me in any other person's voice now? Oh, it's just going to be Julian Casablanca forever? You're just going to find Julian Casablanca songs forever? You know, like I'm like, you can't possibly find another Stroke song, you know, for me to like come across. And that's what's literally happening in my life at that moment, you know, because it kept happening. And I can go back to every song and listen to it and be like, okay, that's it. And they'll be coming up more. So we're going to go ahead and put Julian aside for a minute, because now we're getting back to the real nitty gritty of what we came here to talk about today, which is 4D dream spaces, astral traveling. Okay. We talked about the music magic. Oh, yeah, I guess there is a little bit more music magic we're going to go to. Forgot about that part. Okay. So I needed to figure out now what was real. What was real? What was just in my head? Am I really communicating with people? Am I getting back the messages properly? Are they getting my message properly? Like all of these things I needed, like not only that, but the dream kiss. Okay. What was that? Did I force someone to do something they didn't want to do? Am I making people do, like, am I somehow being manipulative in some way? Like I need to understand what happened. I need to understand what that was, so that way I can put it into proper context, and learn from it properly. All right. So first thing you got to realize, like, okay, if I'm really doing something, okay, if this is real magic, then I should be able to repeat it. It should be able to be replicated. Okay. And so I thought to myself, okay, well, this is where the other thing came into mind, that Mamma Mia event type thing. Okay. So in Mamma Mia, like there wasn't just one love interest. There was 3. Right. So I'm like, okay, we're going to take one person off the table. The person I thought, maybe I've been messing around and doing some stuff. I don't know. I don't know what was real and what was not now anymore. But there's these other love interests. Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's focus our attention on seeing what's possible here with these other people, right? So, first test. So I'm like, who's getting my messages for real? Who's really is like, how are people? How is this, like, what was it, right? I don't even know how else to put it. The words aren't coming out right now when it comes to that, but I needed to know. So the first test I was going to do was trying to make this one particular person text me. I kept thinking about them, okay, from the event. I was like, you know what? They kept popping into my mind. A lot of people pop into my mind. You know what I'm saying? Some people I talk to, right? I'll just have a conversation. What would I imagine saying and talking to this person about? Okay, some people just in and out, like they drop off whatever thought comes through or whatever. Okay. So this person kept popping up into my mind. And so I thought, okay, let's see if we can use music to get this person to text me. Okay. So I picked this song, and it was called, it's called Then He Kissed Me by the Crystals, but I changed it. Okay. So when I would sing the song and I would be doing my dancing, I would say all the words, right? But then when it said kiss me, I would say text me. Okay. And then he texts me. I'm doing this. I'm doing it again and again. Okay. While at the same time, see, I kind of fucked myself up with this experiment, because as I was doing this for a couple days, at one point I just kind of got frustrated, and I just said, God, show me if I'm truly telepathic. Show me if people are really getting my messages. Am I really interacting with people in some way? You know what I'm saying? I demand you show me. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, from that whole day, I had all the people that I'd been actually talking to. Okay, they all interacted with me immediately, within a couple hours. And the person who I tried to get to text me, they texted me, and they were like, "I can't stop thinking about you." I'm like, oh, that's very interesting, because I've been thinking about you too. So this is weird. But like I said, so all the people that I was putting actual effort into talking to text me or called me or interacted with me on some way, right away. So do I really want to be doing that all the time though? So that's just one experiment. Okay. So put that aside. All right. So we did that. Maybe this music stuff works. Maybe we can change it. Because that's the other thing I thought about was, I'm just trying to figure out my magic. Okay. If every sound, every track we touch turns into gold, right? I also thought about this. And this one is going to be out there. I'm just going to tell you guys that. This one's going to be out there. So we all know that music, right, and frequencies, they can affect a human. Not only that, but the words and stuff, it can all be like a spell. Music is very, very powerful. All right. And it can, okay, yeah. like, okay, there was this post I read today, and it was about Rudolf Steiner talking about how beings, like the music can open up the space for beings who I'm going to guess in a way like are associated with that type of energy, depending on the music and what it makes you feel like. Like you can invite certain beings and entities into your life through music. I truly believe that. Not only that, I think it's powerful. Think about this, the power of humans who are listening to the same song over and over and over again, and how it can connect them through the heart space. So if you're opening up to a song, you're opening up the communications channel, I feel like, between multiple people, the collective almost even in a way. So I'm thinking, okay, if they're pumping through, if they're putting out these nasty negative vibes through certain songs, right? Isn't there a way, God, for me to pump back the golden light as I'm listening to it, to pump it back through the channel somehow? And that way we can affect all the people that are listening to this song. Maybe there's a way that we can do that. Okay. So I don't know if that's possible or not, but that's part of what I'd like to envision, that maybe there's a way to do that, because I don't want anyone getting taken down by trash music. I don't want anyone inviting entities into their life that might be negative or nasty because of the type of things that the demons that they like to try and attach to these records. That they literally used to do that. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they do in some way still. There was John Todd. I don't know if you guys heard of him. He talks about how the music records would actually, like back in the day, they would have a ritual ceremony, sacrifices, where they would attach demons to the vinyl records. I thought that's crazy. So anyway, back to the dream replication, right? Okay, so this is the next one. So I thought to myself, okay, so if one of the things that happened was I asked to be kissed in a dream, right? Well, then I should be able to replicate that somehow if I was the one doing that. So what was some of the conditions, that I would have to put forward for this? I thought, okay, well, first of all, the intention would have to be right. Okay, the intention would have to be right. Sincerity would have to be there, so there'd have to be some genuine attraction, right? Like just similar conditions. All right, and there was this channeler. Okay, that's who we're talking about now at this point. This channeler that I really did like a lot, and so I was watching one of his videos. I was watching a live stream of his, and so I just said to him, I did the same thing that I did the previous time. Okay, and I just said, like, you should come visit me tonight. You should come visit me in a dream tonight and kiss me. Okay, that's what I said. Okay, not thinking. I mean, I don't know for sure what's going to happen. I'm like, again, I'm saying what was real, what really happened. I don't know. So I say this, and I go to sleep. And that night, I had this dream. Okay, it was completely different than the other dream, though. The space was completely different than the other dream. The space was my home. It was my house, only it looked just a little bit slightly different than my house. Okay. And I recognize this now. I'm pretty sure that this is a 4D space, because I've also seen it in meditations. All right. When I get deep into a meditation, you'll see it sometimes. You'll tap into that 4D space and you'll see things arranged just like, it's like the same, but it's just a little bit different. In fact, sometimes, like last night, I was laying here and closing my eyes. I was meditating, and it was like someone took everything, it's like someone took the ceiling off of my house, the roof and the ceiling off my house, and I literally could see the stars. Like, it wasn't like you're seeing spots, what I'm saying? Not like, no, I was like literally seeing the stars in the sky somehow. I was like seeing through my eyelids, seeing through the house. So you can tap into these spaces. You can tap into this fourth dimensional space through meditation. But I had this dream in this space. All right. So in this dream, the channeler, he'd come to visit me, and he'd come into my house, and he went over. My cat was there. He went over and he talked to my cat. He pet my cat. And then I had a creation spread up at the a creation spread that I had made at the time. And this apparently was in the 4D space too. And he went, he looked at it, and he checked it out. And then he went to leave. and he was standing out on my porch. And I was like, hold on, wait a second. And I ran out the door and I jumped up and I threw my arms around him and I hugged him and I kissed him. So, and this time the dream was different because I was the one that initiated it. I was the one that initiated the kiss this time. And so, as I'm like wrapping my arms around him and I hug him, he picks me up and he's holding me. I had my eyes closed and I started to feel dizzy. I even felt dizzy in the dream. And I said to him, I said, oh my God, are we falling? And he said, no, I'm just walking. I said, oh, okay. And he went and we sat down on the edge of my porch and he just literally just held me in his arms, and we watched the sunrise come up. And I gently, and this is weird because, usually you wake up from a dream, it's like, you know how it is, guys. I shouldn't have to explain this part. When you wake up from a normal dream, it's like it's snapped back into your body, so to speak. This one was not like this. I was watching the sunset, or the sunrise, I should say. It was the sunrise. And then I gently opened my eyes in my bed. It's like I was awake the whole time, but I had been sleeping. I don't know. I gently opened my eyes, and guess what? The sun had just risen. It was like I literally left the front porch of watching it, and then just gently slid back into my body, opened my eyes, and I'm in the same time. Same thing. So I'm like, oh, I see someone. Wow, Victor. I want to see what Victor's saying now. Okay, no, we're not. I'm going to read that at the end. Okay, so I had this dream now. I had this. Okay, so now I'm like, wow. Okay, so it was kind of replicable, right? This particular thing. Okay. So I started paying attention to this channeler more, and I would talk to them, in my mind, and you don't even know how often times, okay, the things that I would be curious about or be talking about, they would end up talking about and channeling about. And I know a lot of people relate to that. See, that's the thing. I know a lot of people relate to that. And the reason I loved this channeler so much, a big reason, is because I think he does have like just the biggest satellite dish for a head. Like I really do. I just see like he's like picking up on all of this stuff, and so anyone who's really thinking about, because he's so telepathic, so anyone that's really thinking about different subjects, in relation to him, I think that he can pick up on that, and then he can just pick and choose like which ones that he wants to talk about, and so, it's the channel, it's the collective. We're all connected to it. Okay. So anytime I wanted something to be talked about, anytime I was really curious about something, I knew all I had to do was just really focus my intention on sending, like, what I want to hear about. And lo and behold, he would end up channeling or talking about, mentioning that thing somehow. All right. So I mean, I guess you could say I was astrally visiting him after the streams. I would just think about him. I would go and I would tell him like all the crazy things, like, wow, the same way I was doing the daydreaming before. Okay, so now I was daydreaming, like how when I was putting up the bubble shield, right, over DC, and then I saw the bullhorn guy, right, from January 6th. I saw him in this space where I thought I was just imagining things, right? So I mean, I was still going to those spaces. I was still imagining things because I needed to figure out, right? Like I needed to keep doing this thing. Like I just had to follow my heart. So I would talk to him about different things. And so finally I got this idea in my head. So here was the next thing that I wanted to do. This is why I know that these live streams are like little portals, all right, to get to places. Okay, so I told Spirit, I said, I have an idea. I told my guide, like, hey, this is what I want to do. All right, I said, what I want to do is I want to get into the live stream somehow. I said, yeah, we're going to get into the live stream somehow. I said, this is how we're going to know that I managed and I was successful at getting into the live stream. Okay, I said, what we're going to do is we're going to go there. I said, and we're going to do something with the cat. I said, it's something that's so noticeable that everyone notices and comments in the chat. They're all going to notice something's going to happen with this cat. I said, and then after that moment happens, it'll be towards the end of the stream, to make it towards the end. I said, he'll lean over, he'll lean in, and he'll look around, and he'll be like, there's a fairy being here. Okay, so this was my goal. This is my intention. This is what I want to do. I want to see that I can do this. This is going to be hilarious, I thought. Okay, and so I went on, went to go watch him that night, and I fell asleep. I fell asleep during it. I was so upset at myself. I woke up though, okay, because it was late. I woke up and I felt weird. I felt like I missed this person. Like, when you hang out with your friends and then you leave, or you hang out with people that you love and then you leave them and you miss them, right? That real sincere feeling of missing someone. I felt like I had been with him, like in the physical presence of him, and I missed him, and it was really strange. And the spirit was like, go watch the stream. Go watch the stream. So I'm like, okay. So I go and I watch the stream. And sure enough, at the end of the stream, the cat looked like, I feel bad about this. The cat looked like it got thrown. Like literally, like it was in the background, right? And the cat literally looked like it got like thrown. And and then he leaned in. He leaned in over and he said, I said, there's a fairy being here. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, it happened. Like, so this astral stuff, this traveling we can do, it's real. And I'm going to give you one last example before I wrap up this particular person's experiments that I did. All right, the interactions I was doing. And I hate calling them experiments. It feels weird to call them that, but it was like, I'm just trying to research. I'm trying to figure out like what's real, so I can help other people too figure out what's real and what's not. Okay, so that happened. The dream kiss happened. The live stream thing happened. All right. But then this last part was very interesting. Okay. So I'm just going to, this is where I'm going to have to get a little bit more vulnerable again. Yay. So, but this actually really led me to a breakthrough when I was literally just talking, like preparing for this stream. So I'm actually kind of happy that I was able to figure this out. Okay. This led me down a path. So one of the things, okay, about me, all right, and when, I don't know how else to put this other than when I first came into this body, right? Okay, when I first got in this body, I was very put off by the fact that, I hate to say it like this, because it's like I literally came here and I'm literally studying this stuff. I'm studying human sexuality, right? But for me, when I first got in this body, I was like, that is disgusting, and I'm never doing anything like that. I'll be with you. I don't know why I felt that way, but I did. Okay, and I thought that was not part of what I signed up for. I signed up for some, and they're like, no, you are in the body of a woman who has 6 children. Like she's done that. You've done that. You're going to do that. Like that is part of how you make connections with people. And I just thought, no, absolutely fucking not. So I had to, but here's the thing. The body still needs affection, right? It needs touch. Okay. That was the other thing that I had to realize about this body. Okay. The things that I had been through, human beings need touch to be healthy. And I could not stand it. Did not want to be touched. Literally would make me panic, like fear, like some post-traumatic, stress going on here. And so I had to find like, okay, but I still have to take care of Cassandra, right? Like I still, and so this is why part of what I would imagine and part of what I was trying, why I'd be like, okay, like how real can I make something feel, So if I could imagine, all right, being held at night, this would help me fall asleep. Okay, so what I would do when I would lay down to go to bed, after I would do all of my crazy talking, my prayers, whatever it is, and I would lay down, and so I would imagine the man of my choosing, I guess you could say, like the person that I felt most connected to in those moments, which was this channeler. Okay, and I would imagine cuddling with them. Okay, and so as I was literally writing this out. Like, why cuddles? Because it seems like that, like, this is a pattern now. Okay. Because I'm going to tell you the dream, and I'm going to tell you, we're going to link this up. Okay. Because it does lead back to some of the research that I was talking about with, in connection to Sabina, the dangerous method, and Sabina, and how she was studying, right, the patterns from childhood and how they lead into adulthood, how they show up. Okay, and so I had this dream. I done my, my normal thing. I imagined the cuddling. I fall asleep, because it was about excitement, feeling like, well, whoever was gonna, make me feel like, oh my God, I would love to cuddle. That would be so amazing. We're to cuddle. And I had this dream, and it was in that 4D space again. Only this time it wasn't my house. This time I was at another person's location. I was at the other location, and I was sleeping in bed next to this person, and I had my arms around them. I was holding them as we slept. And he woke up, and he got up, and it was morning. Okay. And he went into the bathroom, and he was looking at himself and brushing his teeth and stuff. And I could see him, and I went over there in this dream space, and I was shouting his name. I was like, do you see me? I'm right here. Don't you see me? Like, I'm right here, And he didn't see me. And so I said, oh, I guess I'll just go home then. And again, I woke up, but in a different way. I woke up gently. Like, it just was different. It wasn't like waking up from dreams previous, or even now. And I have not had very many dreams in this 4D space, so it's like these ones really stick out. So I had this dream, okay, and I left, and I gotta go home. I left, and I gently opened my eyes, and it was same time that was in my dream that I just left. I just departed. Okay, and so I thought to myself, like, wow, like, Cassandra, what are you doing? Like, what is going on here? Is this real? Like, is this fucking real? Like, because if you remember, even with the first dream kiss dream, okay, that's what I was doing. I was going to someone's bed to lay down with them. Okay, and so I'm like, and so it clicked to me, like, why is it always, what is this cuddling thing about? And so I was like, let's go look back, at my childhood. Okay, and here's something about my childhood, because this is one of the few good memories that I do have when it came to a fatherly figure. Because I'm telling you guys, these things from childhood, I know it gets uncomfortable, I feel like, for people. I get it, you know what I'm saying? But these things from childhood are what set you up, okay? And build patterns of behavior in your sexual lives, relationships, intimate relationships. All right, so in my childhood, okay, I did eventually, I had a stepdad that I thought was my real dad. Okay, they told me that he was my real dad, and he came into my life, I think, when I was about 4. So it was real easy for them to tell me that, and for that to take over, even though I'd had these other previous experiences that I'm sure in some way was very confusing for a little girl. Okay, imagine what kind of crazy patterns that's going to build for her to be told all these different times, this man's your dad, no, this man's your dad, because here they're telling me this man is my father, right? And then the guy who signed my birth certificate, my mom's first husband, he died when I was 8, and so now they're saying, oh no, this was your dad, and he died, right? Like, what the fuck, and that's something I didn't mention this last time, but the pattern with my own life and my own mother, like, here's the weirdest thing, okay? So my mom, she had me, and she put her first husband's name on the birth certificate and legally made him the father. He basically adopted me, even though he wasn't my biological dad. Okay. Well, with my first son, I also put my first husband's name on the birth certificate, and he adopted my first son. Okay. So, like, and then we told him that was his dad because he was young too. We did the same exact thing to him that they'd done to me. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what? So anyway, get back to a more positive side of it though. Okay. One of the few good memories I have of allowing myself to receive masculine affection, so to speak, okay, with my father was bedtime. Okay. The younger I was, though, when my mom and him were still together, like if I went and I would get into bed with them, my mom would always put me on the side of her. Like, so here's the edge of the bed, here's me, here's her, here's him, right? But after they got divorced and I started staying the night alone with him, just me and my sister, okay, his biological daughter, we would spend the nights and he would let us sleep in bed with him. And that's one of the fondest memories I have is of him just holding me. Like, I literally remember being like, not even all the way asleep, awake, and just having him hold me in his arms. And I could, he would be breathing on me, you know what I'm saying? And I remember at the time telling myself, when I'm a mom, I'm going to make sure that when my babies are sleeping with me, that I turn my head to the side so that I don't breathe hot morning breath air all over them. That's like literally what I thought. But at the same time, I didn't really care because, you know, I was happy, you know, I was content. And so I realized now, like, this is where this pattern came from, was like, this is one of the few positive memories I have of ways that I was able to accept masculine affection. Okay. And so this was the way that I would help get myself to sleep. It's by imagining that now with someone else. Right. So these patterns, you know, this is a positive one, you know, but later on in further streams, I'm going to try and talk about some of the negative ones so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, and how they can show up in negative ways to things that we experience, how they can set us up for it. You know, because honestly, The Dangerous Method, the movie, they go into a really good one with Sabina. Okay, like they go into a really interesting one. See, for her, in her particular case, okay, she was being, okay, when she was a child, she describes that she was basically, for punishment for being bad, she would have to, well, for all this, she would have to strip naked, and her dad would put her over his lap and spank her. Okay. And so, as she was discussing all of this with Carl Jung, she came to realize, you know what I'm saying, the part of her that was causing the most issue was the fact that she liked it. Was that she felt shame over the fact that she actually enjoyed it, to the point where she would come up like with things on purpose to get in trouble for, so that way she could have that experience. You know what I'm saying? And so that was the thing that she learned how to cope with and live with it. That was what she found acceptable. This is how these things show up. So, you know, this is where this spanking came in for her, particularly. Yeah, spanking. All right. And even American Dad, I literally watched an episode, came on the other day. My kids have been wanting to watch American Dad lately. And it was about Francine having the same type of thing, you know, and having to find an acceptable way to explore that. Okay. And the way she found it was to join like a baseball league or something like that. And at the end of the games, they all slap each other on the ass. And so this is where she would get this fulfillment from. All right. So anyway, I digress though. And like I said, I've been going into a lot of different roads here. We're going to talk about a lot of this stuff more in the future. We're just talking about this few little examples here today. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So intentions are really powerful. Mm-hmm. And what you're trying to intend, and you know, the thing that I wrote down here, I see is like for instance, I really wanted to know if I was being abducted, right? Like if we're all, especially starseeds, you know, if you're tagged and you're supposedly, they come and they take you, right? I wanted to know when I first came into this, I wouldn't even say community. I wasn't even in part of this particular community yet, but I was coming into this information when I was first waking up. And I remember just wanting to know, like, am I being abducted or not? You know, and I had an experience basically shortly thereafter where there was a bright spotlight looking thing. It was shining down outside my window, and I could hear this really crazy whoosh. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning. And I could hear this crazy whoosh. Like if I heard it again, you don't forget this whoosh. I'm telling you. As soon as I heard it, I was like, I recognized it. And I immediately, my first thought was not again. Like, and I jumped into my bed and I put the covers over my face and my eyes, and I stayed closed. And I just said, I don't, like, I was scared. I remember, but I'd also asked to remember, right? I'd asked to remember, but because I wanted to know, this was why I requested this, because I wanted to know what it really felt like to see an ET and have that fight or flight response happen, because I wanted to know if I would be strong enough to overcome it and to interact with an ET. Okay. So I got scared, oh my God, there's this light outside. I hear this whooshing, not again. I'm terrified. And then I literally I could feel it. It's like this really buzz sound, that static kind of sound. And this powerful light shines right onto you. And it's like you're just being pulled through the ceiling, and they just take you out. You're like beamed out, literally just like beamed out. So I was very scared. I did not remember what happened from that point afterward. And the next day, I recalled that particular part of it, and I just thought to myself, "Oh man, I missed my chance. Missed my chance to see those ETs, to say hi. I missed my chance to see what was really going on. What are they taking me to do here?" And so, sure enough, though, a couple weeks later, I had another opportunity. I told them to stop showing me at this point because it's just a little bit too scary. I just, it's I don't want to know anymore. Like I don't want to remember at this point anymore. But I did at that point. I wanted to know. I wanted to remember. So I told myself, like, you guys, if you do this for me again, if this happens again, I will make sure that I open my eyes and that I go forward, like, almost willingly, right? And so again, the light came, this whoosh, whoosh, whoosh sound. I get it was like 3 or 4 in the morning again. So always like around this really early morning hours. And I hop in my bed and they beam me up, so to speak. And it was like suddenly I was on an elevator, and the elevator part of it opened, and I went into this space that was like a working space. It had like a loft to it. Okay. It had like these windows on the upside of this building. Okay. But they were like really small windows. They were just at the top. Okay. And there were like 3 other humans working at this table. And so I came in, and the whole point is what they were having us do was we were going to be building these what looked like Lego spaceships. Okay, I'm guessing maybe it was like a part for something else. Okay, I don't know for sure though. Okay, and when I got into this space, they told me your daughter got here 30 minutes ago, and I said, my daughter? I thought they were talking about Sarah, my daughter Sarah, and I thought, why? Well, where is she? And they pointed over to this other little table, and underneath this table there was a child crying. But it was not my daughter. It was a hybrid gray of some sort. And so I picked up the child and I held the child, which is what they wanted me to do. And this is why the child was waiting there, because I was supposed to hold this child. I just knew that. This is what they wanted me to do. And as I pick up this child and I'm holding this child, okay, my eyes catch the corner of the room, and there's a pair of feet. Okay, and I slowly scan up. And as I slowly scan up, for some reason I was not afraid of the baby gray ET, but this is what scares me. Anyway, so we're slowly scan up. Okay, and it's a gray, but he looks a little bit different than some other grays. He had like a bigger head right here. Okay, and he had like a white jacket on, like a doctor, like a clipboard of some sort. And he's just standing in the corner. He's watching. And I felt that adrenaline. I felt that fight or flight, to the point where I dropped the baby. And I was like, oh my God, and that's when I pulled myself together. I said, no, like this is it. This is your chance. Say hi. And so I did. I was just like, hi, like, oh my God, really here? Oh my God. And he did not like that. And he told me basically, don't talk to me. And if you try to talk to me again, I am going to put you to sleep. And as he said this to me, it made my legs get a little bit weak. And I could sense like, okay, they're going to put me to, I don't know what, they're going to make me unconscious here. It did feel like there was like, I don't know if this is the perfect word for it. It felt like there was some type of screen overlay they were trying to put on some of this stuff. You know, I don't know if that I don't know. It felt like I don't, because like the Legos, like why couldn't I get a bigger like a better idea of what that was? It's like so they put some overlays over what it was we were really doing there. All right, and then towards the end of the dream, um, I told like it was a break time, and so I told these other humans, I said, "Don't you want to like guys? Don't you want to know where we're at? Like we need to look outside these windows." And you know, I had to stand on this countertop. I'm like, "We need to look out where we're at and see where we're at." And so I looked out these windows, and on one side was the sun setting, only it was purple. The sky was like real dark purple, and there was like red sands everywhere. Okay, and then the other side of the building, there it was dark, completely dark because the sun had set. Okay, but there was water there. There was like a lake or something there. I don't know. And as I got down off of this countertop, there was a dish, and this dish had all of my jewelry that I would wear. It had all of my jewelry taken off and put into this dish, all of my metal jewelry, my crystals. And I was like, why did they take all that off? You know, that didn't quite make sense to me. But I'm assuming now that had something to do with the technology of transporting me. I've heard from other people now. It was Aaron and Tyler Koala. They actually said that actually lines up with some of the stuff that they've heard too about the technology of being one. So it's the end of the whole day, and it's time for us to all clean up. And this little gray alien comes in, and they have the cleaning supplies, and so we're cleaning up. And I looked at the gray alien and I just said, "Wow," I said, "I'm not going to remember any of this, am I?" And he smirked and he said, "Nope." And then a pop happened, and I was back in my bed, back in my body. And I did remember. I did remember. I remembered the whole thing, you know? Yeah, it absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. And I have been abducted again since then. They took something out of my nose or something at some point after the Journey to Truth conference. There was something in there. I don't know if they took it out and they put something in. All I know is that it was this side. It was this side from like right here to here. I could feel this vibration, this buzzing. Even when I talked, it was like almost like it was needing to get used to it or heal or something like that. For a while there, it was like that. Okay. There's one last thing that we're going to do here today before I do pull the cards. I just want to say thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for being here. If you could please make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. It is important to say that. It does remind people to do that because I know it does. Like in certain videos that I watch, when I get that reminder, if it's someone new, it helps. Okay, so I just want to remind people, like, all these things, if there's any chance that we can affect these things, this is why on my thing I put, new leaders of Earth rise up, because I am getting fucking pissed. I am getting fucking pissed at the state of the world and all the things that are happening, and knowing that this is all being created from a group of people who want to just keep humanity down, keep them working as slaves, look what they've done in California. This is the same thing as Maui. This is the same thing as North Carolina. Like, they are doing this, but I thought, if anything, with everything that I've been sharing with you guys, look at what's possible. Look what may be possible. With God's help, I may be really doing things out there. And think if we all combined and joined together, right? Because that's it, the end that, okay. And this is what really triggered this for me was I saw this clip and I posted it on Facebook, and it was a scene from the end. This is the end. This is the end, that movie. Okay. And how the Hollywood Hills are burning in that movie. Okay, like, this is how they open the collective consciousness up to manifest the timelines that they want. This is why they put those movies out there. Okay. Again, and I'm using this same principle when I come here and I talk to you guys about all the stuff that I'm experiencing. I'm trying to open that possibility up in your mind that these things are possible and can happen. These miracles, these wonders of God can happen to you, right? What we consume with our mind is very important. Okay. And so this is how they allowed this timeline to manifest itself partly is by putting out these movies. In this particular case, it was This Is the End. Okay, so they want us to believe like this is an apocalyptic event, you know, like this is. So think about if we can find some way to use that in our favor. Yes, because it is predictive programming. It's they're literally hijacking our creator abilities. They're hijacking it, you know. And so this is why it's so important for, honestly, for the age of Aquarius. This is why this is so important, because it's time for the artists, the weirdos, right? The aliens, the outcasts, the black sheep. It is our time. It's our time. We have to get stronger and more powerful in our ability to manifest through controlling and picking our thoughts, like our prayers, our requests, you know. Think of what is possible if we could even, like, I know, like, we can help somehow in some way just by all being here together and focusing on this prayer and this visualization when it comes to California and the devastation. You know, like, I just wanted to take you guys through something similar to what I would do on my own by myself, because I thought if you guys were so strong that you could come through and I could feel your presence, okay, from me sharing with you guys about my sacred marriage, if I could feel your presence back then, imagine what we could do now. You know, if we're directing and we're intentional and we're directing exactly what we want to see. It doesn't have to be super specific. It can be general, it can be broad, but don't be afraid to be specific. You know what I'm saying? As long as we're giving it to God and we're saying, God, if this is in alignment with your will and the highest timeline of love and joy, you know, like, bring this about. Bring this about. Okay, so this is my prayer for California. And I'm just asking you guys to join in on, it's not very long, but I'm just asking you guys to go ahead and, for a moment, okay, I want you just to visualize California, okay, and see the flames. You know, kind of back out like a map. We're going to be looking at it from above, okay, we're seeing all those flames, okay, and I want you to imagine a big bubble of blue energy, okay, it's like jelly. It's a gelatinous bubble, blue. And we're going to put it on those fires. We're going to put it, make it big enough to cover all of them, and just gently set it down on top of those fires and see it going out. Like when you, like that Tux commercial from back in the day with the fire, like, right? What was it, the match? Okay, and they take the Tux pad and they just goes out. Okay, so that's what our big giant blue jelly bubble is going to do. It's going to help put all those fires out and to keep that land from reigniting. Okay, but now we also have to deal with the fact that there are people that are lighting those fires. So what we want to do is we want to ask God, like, God, please, through miracles, prevent any more fires from being ignited. Anyone who has plans, who works for the government or not, that is trying to continue igniting fires, stop them. Give them the ability to not do that. Take away the things that they need to do it. Let machinery malfunction. Whatever is necessary. God, we're asking that. We're asking that you stop all of them in their tracks when it comes to creating more destruction for the people. Okay? I'm asking you guys to think and call upon your own legions of angels, because you work with angels. We're angelics. This is why you're attracted to my voice, my frequency, from that higher plane. Okay? So we're going to call forth all of our brethren, all of the angels, all of the choir. I'm asking them to come and assist all the people that are in this area right now. See them all coming to assist. And I'm asking those angels that all of those who are not working in the best interest of the people to be removed. We want them removed somehow. We're demanding it. We need the right people to step up. So now what I'm asking is to bring forward all of those who serve the light. We're calling, in fact, I hear it with a song. I hear it with a song that just ignites my heart right now. So after the stream, if you want to continue visualizing this and see, especially with the angels love music. Call them forward with a song that is inspired, that inspires your heart. Okay, so now we're bringing forward, I'm asking the angels, the legions of angels, please bring forward all those who serve the light and want to assist in aligning the people of California with their timeline of highest love and joy, of growth and expansion, of healing and health. I ask God that you please help fix the human consciousness collective in this particular location. So, just take a moment. If there's any specific details that you would like to see, as maybe even a confirmation for yourself of these miracles, go ahead and imagine those. You know, something that would really stick out to you. You know, you want to see a particular type of saving situation where it's like you see all the people getting their food and water, and they're all in a safe place. They're in a safe shelter. You know, see stuff like that. But use your imagination. Use your own imagination. And with that being done, I ask God that you please let this gelatinous blue jelly bubble of healing stay upon this land for as long that is necessary. Also, I want the blue bubble, I want you guys to imagine that is also a calming energy for everyone there so that they can think more clearly. Because that's the thing, when I tap into that place, the first thing when I tapped in was absolute chaos. So we need to bring the people down, their nerves. We need to calm them down so that they can think clearly and make better choices to try and mitigate damages as much as possible. Yes, take those people out of power that have created this mess. Get them out. It's fucking time. This frequency bubble, this is telling them. This is repulsing them. It is time. Done. Okay. I feel better about that. I feel a lot better about that. I just want to say thank you guys for doing that with me. And just keep sending them as much love and protection, okay, as we can. Yes. Okay, so yeah. On that note, we're going to go ahead and pull the fortune cookie, the tarot cards, and one oracle card. I have an oracle deck picked out for us today. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. And just yeah, next week I'm going to keep going into these subjects. There's still, listen, I have only started. That was just one small part of it, okay? Because like I said, these experiences, these experiments that I was doing, the research I was doing, these things were overlapping. Okay, there were different people. I was overlapping them. So we just talked about the channeler today. Okay, and just a few snippets of it, of all the things that happened. Okay, but next week I'm going to start going over the other heart wish that I made that had a really big confirmation effect afterwards. So yes, that's going to be fun. I got a new little character here with me today. It's a cosmic cutie whose eyes light up. I also thought it was kind of funny that I found, I looked up a picture of Calypso, and the picture that we have for my thumbnail. All right, that is a picture of Calypso. I thought it's just so funny that it's my favorite color, blue, you know? So I'm thinking like, maybe that's where I got my inspiration. I know, yeah, a blue planet. Like Neptune is my favorite planet. Neptune is my favorite planet, you know, because of the blue shade of it. And I'm thinking maybe I like to tap into the version of me that would live on a water world. You know, I do. I have like a mermaid version of me that exists in a place. It's all blue. The whole planet is all just, it's blue, different shades of blue. Anyway, that's besides the point, because now we're going to get back to what we're doing here. Yeah, no, I'm thinking about, well, I mean, the blue planet. Okay, I'm not saying the blue planet that I'm thinking of is Neptune necessarily, but I know it's something, it's a water world, so to speak. Anyway, okay, let's shake all that off. Yes, release that. All right, what does the message need to hear? Or a fortune cookie message? No, not that one. Boom, this one. Boop, boop. Let's see what we got today. Yeah. Boop, boop. All right, it says, your next adventure will bring unexpected joy. That's a very simple but pleasant one. We haven't got a bad fortune cookie in a while, and there used to be some. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, your next adventure will bring unexpected joy. Yes. You know, it's crazy because for the longest time, I only used to be able to tap into about a month out, energy-wise, right? But I can actually already feel the next conference I'm going to. I can already feel the energy of it. And it is phenomenal. And I just want to say that it's going to be an amazing time. And I hope that anyone that can make it and attend this event will attend this event. This one and the Full Disclosure Now one, because we are going to have an absolutely fantastic time. You know, come and be activated, guys. We got work to do. We need the new leaders of the earth to rise up. The new leaders of the earth are going to be the ones that are aware of how the collective consciousness works as a creator and how to take control of it by building up your belief system, rebuilding your tower. Like I said, that's your belief system about yourself and what is possible, what you are capable of. Start building your beliefs, manifesting little things at a time, so that way it can get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because and not only that, but the more you do that for yourself and then you share it with other people, and those people start to believe in you too. Okay, it compounds. It compounds. You know, that's part of how Jesus was able to perform all of his miracles, is kind of what they've been telling me. Okay, it wasn't just his own belief in being able to do this thing. Slowly, it started to be other people's beliefs also believing in him and his ability to direct God's energy into healing. Yes. Oh, I love you, Chastity. You're all right. Hi, Joanna. Hi, everyone that didn't say hi in the chat too already. I know I saw some people come in earlier. I didn't get to say hi to. I'm sure of it. Oh, I love that the chat's been so chatty. Oh, Kiki, you're fine. You're fine. Oh, Matthew and Nora. Hi there, guys. Anyone else? Did I miss anyone else? Oh, Chris popped in. Yay! He's listening. He's working, but he's listening. Okay, that's good. That's the other thing I want to show you guys before I head out of here today, is that Chris actually bought me some really beautiful Christmas presents. Oh, Barry popped in too. Oh, hi, Barry, if you're there. Me and Barry had a great conversation this morning about Doctor Who and technologies behind the TARDIS, like some real, like, technical shit. Oh man, he's really trying to figure it out, and he is doing a fucking fantastic job. Let me tell you, he is really figuring out the true technology behind the TARDIS. You know, absolutely amazing. But the gifts. On that, you know, that's the other. I didn't get to talk about it today, but you know, like one of the adventures that I went on with my group of people, right? Me and my guides and everything like that I wanted to figure out. It's a little bit more of exciting / storyline. Is about Donald Marshall and his story and wondering like how true it was and wanting to check that out. And so maybe going and having to figure out, is the cloning facilities he's talking about real? Like how real are they? And is there any way that we can assist him in ending some of this pain and suffering that he's been through? Like he's really moved me. His story really has moved me. So yeah, there's an adventure we're going to go into. Probably I'm going to talk about that one next week though. Yeah, about visiting, astrally visiting, having an astral adventure at the cloning facility, so to speak. Okay. But I want to show you very quickly. Look, I didn't even step all the way off the screen. So look at this. Look at this beautiful thing. I didn't grab the stand for it. It has a gold stand. But look at this. This is like, okay, I already have another egg too that I got from Miss Liz. I got it from Miss Liz. It is a serpentine egg or whatever. But look at this. This one has an actual baby dragon in it. Look. Look, it has a light thing comes on. Oh, was it light? Did I burn it out already? Oh, no. There it goes. There it goes. So anyway, oh, you can't really tell from the thing, but it lights up. So you can see the dragon. And as you know, maybe you don't, in my most important dream, when I slid down into that black, gooey, pink storm cloud thing and got sealed up, I looked like the Khaleesi. I was the Khaleesi dressed as Ruby Roundhouse from Jumanji, whose abilities happen to be able to fight using dance, right? That's how she's a warrior. She fights dance style. But yes, so, but how many eggs did the Khaleesi have? Right? How many eggs did she have? She didn't have just one. She had 3. And now I have 3. So thank you, Chris. Okay. Let's go ahead. Oh, thank you, Sugar Bee. Oh, so sweet. Oh, yeah, you guys noticed my shirt? Look at that. Oh, Doctor Who. You know what's funny? I don't even know where the fuck this shirt came from. I don't even know where it came from. I'm not joking. My kids don't watch Doctor Who like I do. You know, my only son that did was my second oldest, and he got out of it way before, you know, this shirt was created. You know, like it's definitely not a too old shirt. I don't know where it came from. Anyway, these things show up in my life sometimes. So I got a Doctor Who shirt. The other thing that came into my life, Doctor Who related, was a blanket. My mom had actually made a Doctor Who blanket. It was for someone else. Somehow it ended up in our house. And it's the Peter Capaldi version of the Doctor with Clara on it. I was like, oh my God, it's meant for me. These are little miracles, right? Yeah. Okay. So what does the collective need to hear? Let's see what the collective needs to hear. Okay. Yeah, it's good stuff. I got a good feeling about next week. Okay. It's good stuff. What message does the collective need? Yes. Okay. I'm not going to be able to do this if, like, you're, like, talking way too much. Like, I have to be quiet in my mind. So, yeah, quiet. Quiet. Yes. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're going to be quiet. Okay. What does the collective... Okay, here we go. For next week's energies, what does Spirit want to tell the people who are watching the stream now and in the future? What does Spirit want to tell them? For next week's energies. Yes, there we go. Okay, it's ready. Let's see what they have to say. For this next week's energies. Now they're showing me a card before I even pull one. Okay. They showed me the Strength card. Anyway, let's keep going. Pull the card. 1, 2, 3. Oop, first card. Knight of Pentacles. You know, it's funny because I pulled cards for someone earlier today, and this was the first card that I pulled for them today, too. So that's nice. Making a little comeback here. We got the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. What's the Knight of Pentacles about? All right. Well, he's an earth energy. So he's pretty stable. He's pretty solid. Okay. The unmovable force. What's that saying where it's like when something unstoppable meets an immovable force? I don't know what that is, what that saying is, but it's like they're saying something like that. Okay. So this guy, yeah. So this guy right here, he has a real gift. You know, he has a real treasure, something tangible that the world, he needs to show the world. All right. The problem with this guy is that, you know, because the knights, you know, they're on a journey. He's on a journey to go fulfill some part of him. He hasn't quite figured out exactly how to do this. Like, you know, the Page of Pentacles, he like finds, that's when he first discovers his talent, right? He first discovers his gift as the Page. And then he moves on to the Knight of Pentacles. He doesn't know what that is at first. Now he has a better idea of what this is, this thing that he has, that he wants to share with the world. He wants to share it with people. The problem is that he's very slow moving and he's a little bit stubborn. And so therefore, he might just be waiting. He might be waiting over at the side, like staying home, not going out anywhere because he wants to feel invited places. He wants to feel like someone directly says, hey, come over here and show me that thing. Guess what? That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay. This guy has to literally just physically pick himself up and take them places, go places, interact with people. That's the only way you're going to find out where you fit in for real, where your gift actually is usable, who can recognize it, who can see it. You have to take it out. You have to take yourself out and you have to show it. Okay. So like, for instance, like, you know, coming to the Journey to Truth conference, the Full Disclosure Outcome, come and show the people your gift. Or, you know, maybe you're thinking about making a YouTube channel, okay, but some part of you is hesitant. Do it now. It's time to share the gift with the people. This is going to get you somewhere. All right, let's go on the next one. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. What's the next part? Okay, 3. 1. Tell us more about this Knight of Pentacles. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We got the 5 of Cups. All right, so this energy that's coming along with the Knight of Pentacles, which I think possibly could be what's holding them back a little bit here, is the fact that they're focusing. It's what they're focusing on. They're focusing on this sadness, this loss, regret, maybe. You know, the past, like what it is, what's gone. You know, they're only focusing. They're letting themselves stew and sit and marinate in the memories of all of those things that they lost, all the things that are no longer there. It's all the energy is poured out. You see that? Like, it's not a very, I mean, he looks very, very sad. The thing about this card though is, and again, it's quite obvious. It's quite obvious. Look at that. If cups are emotions, right, there are more happy times to be had. And they're right behind you, right? Like this guy, he's looking in the past. Turn around and look to your future. Turn around and look in the present even. This is in the present. There's real love there. Okay, the 2 of Cups. Okay, what is that card? That's the relationship card, basically. That's the deals with God card, so to speak. You know? A union. A completion. Someone that is a real companion and can see you and experience with another person, intimate relationships where someone actually sees you. Okay, but you're focusing on this loss part. Okay, that would make you a little bit uninspired to take your gift to the world, right? So no, it's time to realize that you have love, that you have something to look forward to. Okay. Let's go to the next card though. What's the next card? Okay. Yeah. That's part of the message. What's the last part of the message in regards to these 2 cards? That's part of the message in regards to last part. The 4 of Cups. My God. They are telling you to do this. They have been telling you to do this thing for a while now. You know, but you're not looking at that thing. You're like wondering about it. You're daydreaming about it. You know, like there's these 3 of Cups here and they're full. So this is kind of a card of pause, hesitation. It really is reminding me a lot of that Knight of Pentacles energy. It's like that hesitation energy of not wanting to, like, second guessing yourself. You know, should I do this thing? Should I not? Should I share myself with people? Should I go to one of these events? You know, they've already given you the answer. You're just kind of ignoring it. You know, that's the thing. I keep getting, this keeps coming up in my mind. You know, it really kind of, you know, I'm not going to say that at events that people can't get targeted, you know, or whatever it is that whatever people are afraid of when it comes to going to conferences and things like that. Because I've seen posts of people being like, this ruined my life going to these things, or I'm never going to that. I heard one person have a bad experience, and so therefore that's why I don't go to those things. See, I'm never going to those things. You know, it's just like, what the fuck, people? Like, do you not think that maybe some part of you is afraid of being healed? For you to be so afraid to come to it? Like, do I seem like, literally, I came alive at one of these things? You think they're that bad? You know, like you're gonna let your fear steer you away from it? I don't know, that's just kind of a random thing that I was thinking about. So I thought I'd just throw it out there. But regardless, let's get back to this 4 of Cups. So yeah, they've told you. They've told you this. And he's still looking. You know, when I hold these 2 cards together, okay, it's like this guy, he's just looking. He's still looking at the past. So you got to be careful here, okay? You need to focus on moving forward. It might take a hot minute. You might feel like, I don't know, should I? The answer is yes, and Spirit is already telling you. You need to change up your perspective. Change up your perspective. Focus on the things you do have, the positives. It's time to rewrite that programming. Boop. That's the best I got for today when it comes to the tarot cards today, guys. I really hope that helps. It's a little bit weird for me. I'm going to have to figure out how that's going to fit in with whatever it is I'm experiencing here for the next week. Should be interesting. But as I was saying at the beginning of this, I have 2 sets of oracle cards that we could pull from today. So I'm going to let y'all choose. This is the ones I was moved to pick up. The Druid Animal Oracle deck, this one, or the Sacred Sea Oracle. I really like the fairy one though. That one usually gives really great messages. But hopefully this one will give us a good message, one of us. All right, anyway, so what does everyone wants to vote? All right, we got to see someone for Sacred Sea. We got a Druid. We got another Sea. All right, who's going to, that's 3. I mean, that basically is 3. Or 3 votes, but 2 of them were for this one. So I feel like we should go for the Sea then. Sorry, Brayden. Next time. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Okay. All right, this will be interesting. Yeah, there's the song. Okay. This blue. Wow. Blue on the edges even. Like it's, you see that? It's like metallic. Oh my gosh. Beautiful cards. I don't often take them out, but my God. Okay. Yes. You know, I feel like, yeah, pretty soon. I'm going to do a live stream where we actually just pull tarot cards for the audience. I haven't done that in a really, really long time, but I'm craving it. So we're going to do that shortly. Maybe next one. I don't know yet. For the collective. All right, that's the last shuffle. It feels ready now. Yep. Okay. What is spirit? Okay. Oh, I feel good energies on this one. Okay. We're tuned in. Okay. Wow. Okay. We got this beautiful card. It I see a dragon in this, but it's very abstract. So I see like a dragon wrapped around like it's like a crystal control room. Oh, I'm not sure, but it says Heart Chakra Gateway. All right, I'm going to show you guys the cards. Heart Chakra Gateway. You guys see what I'm talking about? Like that looks like the dragon's head to me right there. Dragon head. The camera reverse has me fucked up. Okay, the dragon head. The body, right? There's the little crystal control room. Kind of reminds me of the TARDIS stuff I was looking at earlier today. Okay. All right. So it says love, capacity, and expansion. Ooh, baby. Yeah. Fire. Yes. Yeah. They're like, yes. That's what's been going on here. Got this fire going. Yes. The fire. The divine fire in the temple, the sacred temple. Like, you know, the Vestal Virgins, how they had that job was just to keep that fire lit inside the temple. Yes, that's my job now. Keep the fire lit. Okay. Oh boy, this is kind of small writing. Let's hope I can see without my reading glasses. Okay. So we got Heart Chakra Gateway, love, capacity, expansion. The affirmation is, I create divine love. I experience divine love. And I receive divine love in every moment. I vow to consciously evoke love energy in every word I speak, every thought I think, and every action I take. It says the sacred meeting is vibrant heart health, love expansion, infinite love expression, new earth vision of the opened heart chakra gateway, openness, wholeness, safe emotional expression. And so this is the sacred message. I am the heart chakra gatekeeper. I'm sorry, you bear with me. I am the heart chakra gatekeeper from the deepest depths of the sea. I hold the entrance to the sacred space for those who are truly ready to access the deep infinite love of the universe you dwell in. You must be pure and ready to enter, as this card has appeared for you today. To open the organic gateway of the heart chakra, prepare yourself with a deep breath to dive into the depths of that which is in store for you. Take your time to feel into the epic vastness this sacred site holds. I will assist you on your journey as your notion of love will begin to expand to new vantage points you never knew were fathomable. Traveling into this loving space will allow you to access the heart of the Earth's core, which is closest to that of Hawaii. As you approach, you may even be able to feel the floodgates of infinite love come over you, healing and penetrating every cell of your being. This is a calling for you to witness the love and lack of love that you have in your life. An energetic love inventory. That's kind of what that 5 of Cups is, right? You're taking the inventory of the love and the lack of. You could make your life experiences even more lovely and expansive and expressive. Oh, what could make your life experiences even more lovely and expansive and expressive? What could be possible for you if there was nothing that could withhold your infinite, ever-flowing love expression? What would the world feel like if everyone was holding the keys, as you are now, to the heart chakra gateway? So you've been given the keys. Oh my. There's a sacred seed ritual. I don't know if I'm going to read this one. It looks like it's more of a meditation guide. Yes, it is basically something like we just went through. We already did that with the California prayer. So it's funny it mentions that though, because that's literally what I felt like when this past week, you know what I'm saying? Like it felt like if this is the Ace of Cups, could be represented by a cup. It was like God literally just poured in a bunch of love and it was just overflowing. I literally felt that way. I felt content. I felt joyful. I felt euphoric. I felt blissful. You know, I just felt grateful to be connected to God in such a way. I'm like, wow, God is such a romantic. You know? Really, to send me a song like that? Beautiful. Gorgeous. And on that note, lovelies, we have reached the end of our journey today. So take this information and use it for good in your own life somehow. I hope everyone had a wonderful time. I did. I'm feeling a little bit tired now. I can feel like my energy is a little drained now. I love you guys. You know. So I think we did pretty good on time wise too. It's almost been 2 hours. Wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah, you guys have a great weekend. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You too, Miss White Swan. You too. Just trying to briefly check the comments real quick before I do just hit that end stream though. Victor, also month of May, turning to his compass in May. Yeah, number 5. Whoa! Yeah, Victor. Boom. Wow. Thank you for making that connection. I really appreciate you. Yes. Oh, thank guys. Make me feel so happy. Yeah. I love you. I'm feeling good. I'm going to have to read the rest of the comments later, I think. I'm like, there's a lot. There's a lot. I'm sorry that I have to ignore the comments sometimes. I feel real bad about that. But sometimes if I'm in the flow, I have to, if I focus on the chat, I will lose my place, you know. Oh, someone's talking about the astral popping in and out of the body. There was a pop sound, Sugar Bee is saying. Yeah, you know what? I've experienced something like that. I've experienced something like that when I was, there was this one time that I was dreaming and I could tell that my spirit was literally practicing jumping in and out of the body. And it kept when I would exit the body, I kept going through a tunnel and then I would jump back in and then it was happening all night long. And, it was in connection to someone else too at the time. And I remember because there was some word that kept trying to come through when I woke up the next day. I was like, what is it? I told the guy, I was like, I kept hearing this word. And it was India corn. I was like, India corn? What is it? And it was Inyokern. That's what it was. I guess it's some government facility thing. So I don't know what was going on there that night, but popping in and out of my body all night long. Pop, pop. Aww. I missed all these sweet comments while I was talking. Oh, Barry had a great comment too. Oh, Matthew loves the Strokes too. He doesn't give a fuck. Oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna be buzzing from the stream. I can tell already. This is what happens. I'm like tired now, but I'll be up till fucking 2, 3 in the morning, buzzing. I'm just being happy that I made these connections and that I've been able to share myself so much and so openly with everyone. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, we got a second confirmation. Yes. I get when your crown chakra is open, that's how I feel my crown chakra being open. It feels tingly. Like it slowly got bigger over time. Like it started, like it honestly only started, I would only feel like right here. And then slowly but surely it like moved back. Now it's like my whole head when it happens. Yeah. All right, I love you guys, but yeah, I'm gonna head out now. It's been so wonderful having you here. Please make sure you hit the like button. Please share the video if you know anyone that likes this kind of type of stuff. And I will be back next week talking about more of it. We're going to talk more about the astral traveling. We're going to talk more about the telepathic stuff that I've been experimenting with, like just the confirmations, you know, so that way you guys can start testing these things yourself. That's really what I'm hoping that people will do, is they'll start testing these things for themselves so they can see their own abilities. You know what I'm saying? And it might be different than mine. It might be, that's the thing. You might work completely different than how mine works, but it might work exactly the same as mine works. So you never know until you share it with someone and you put it to use. So this was only the beginning, though. You may be wondering, when's the end? There is none.